Hey guys, Tim Cool with Prodigy Outdoors, and I'm back. You know, I've kind of stayed in the shadows for a while. I've kind of just played it cool, haven't really said much, haven't done much, and lived in the shadows. And, you know, I still talk to all my people, but I just don't really post as much. I kind of respect and value my privacy a little bit. But I think it's time to step back into it a little bit. And one of the topics I want to talk about, I want to hear from people about, is their honest core belief, opinion on hunting public land versus private land, because this is just one debate that I love to get into, because I've hunted both in pretty much any state I've hunted. I've hunted both public land and private land, and it's kind of interesting if you think about it like that. I kind of just thought of that. Any state I've hunted, except for Texas, I've hunted public and private land, and you know, I haven't noticed it to be any more difficult or easier on one or the other. It's all dependent on the variables that are in place. And when you're hunting public land, particularly places that have, multiple avenues or reasons for people to come there, like fishing, camping, hiking, small game hunting, boating, rock climbing, morel hunting, all these multitude of variables, that's where you can run into problems where it's difficult to achieve what you're trying to achieve. And in my case is to shoot a buck over 150 or better, and to try to target a specific deer or two. That's where it's difficult, is because other people are going to be hunting those deer. And I've said this before, what's the difference between hunting 500 acres of public or 50 acres of private? And because the 50 acres of private, there's a good chance that it butts up to another private landowner who also hunts, which butts up to another landowner who also hunts. And everyone has a different opinion and perspective and different goal and mindset. And so who's to say one is harder than the other, and without physical scientific proof that you could never even measure? And so for people to sit here and say that hunting private land is easier, I've done it enough times where I don't think it's any easier. But I've never hunted a place that's managed and manicured and has, box blinds and food plots and, 500 acre farm, nobody else hunts and it's managed. That's something I've never been able to be a part of. I've never seen what deer activity is like under that microscope. But to compare my 100 acre, 50 acre here, 20 acre here, hunting unleased land, unmanaged land, I call them scrub spots. They're places where a lot of people don't want to hunt. They don't hold deer. You have to hunt them during a certain time of the year, like the rut or late season or early season. In comparison to public land, I mean, how can either one hold a candle to the other? They're both just as bad, to be honest with you. They're both just as good. And at the end of the day, who really gives a shit where someone else hunts? The less people that hunt public land, right? The less people that are going to disrupt your hunt. So for people to sit here and argue about public land, private land, it's just mind-blowing. We have bigger fish to fry, I would believe. But in the comments below, let me know what you think. Share the video, like the video, don't like the video, subscribe, don't subscribe. Don't matter, bud. Stay tuned.